Good evening, and thanks for joining us for a special Eyewitness News presentation, Veterans Voices, honoring those who serve. The sacrifices the men and women of our armed forces make is something that should never be taken for granted. Their selfless actions and strong commitment ensure our freedom every day. And for the next half hour, we'll look at some of the unique stories involving veterans right here in the state line. We start tonight with a capital campaign that's raising funds to renovate the Jefferson Horton American Legion Post 340. That veteran post has been part of Rockford's South Side for 86 years. I talked to the post commander about that campaign project called Project Restore and Reimagine. On Rockford's South Side, a group is stepping into shape inside the Jefferson Horton American Legion Post 340. This is a weekly class, one of several events held here, at a post with a rich history in a building in need of a modern upgrade.
This building has been here since 1929, and we're looking to tighten it up.
Veteran Ray Richmond is the post commander. He took on the role in September and started a capital campaign almost immediately. The goal is to raise enough money to renovate this entire building from top to bottom, inside and out.
Our project Restore and Reimagine, what we're doing is honoring the past and building the future.
A past in an American Legion post steeped in legacy. The Jefferson Horton Post was a safe space back in the day for black troops returning from war. It was first established at Booker Community Center in the 30s, moving into this building in the 70s. Richmond says the building needs to reflect its storied history.
We are trying to raise funds to get this building into great shape so that we can continue to be a place for veterans to come and have a safe social environment. Not just veterans, but their family as well.
The goal is $250,000. The campaign is looking for grants, donors, and partnerships, even wanting to collaborate with the city and county.
We really worked hard here. And I'm really ready to work hard with my veterans.
Irma Jackson Adams is the auxiliary president and post member for 19 years. She's willing, she says, to put in the work.
Because it's history, and it's for the veterans.
Okay.
And I love my veterans.
It is a piece of Rockford's history that still stands out today in a building that they hope will soon mirror the richness of the history it preserves. Very interesting. Well, now many of the schools honored our veterans today. At Auburn High, students in fabrication courses created unique gifts. Eyewitness News reporter Rico Holland joins us now. Rico, what did the students make?
Mimi Wendell, the seniors gave out a few custom-made pens saluting soldiers. It's a project they've been working on since the beginning of the school year. The students say it's well worth it.
On a day that salutes our nation's veterans,
thank you so much for your service.
Seniors at Auburn High School presented their hard work.
I mean, it's honestly an honor. Just giving stuff to people that serve their country, and it's something just to give back to them as a thank you.
Students in fabrication courses created custom pens with a little flair. The pens are attached to a saluting metal soldier, a fitting tribute for veterans who served our country.
Well, let's hope they enjoy their gifts, and I hope they enjoy their time here, obviously, because we worked really hard for these, and I hope they really enjoy them.
Jody Padavana, who served in the National Guard, appreciated the gesture.
When I walked in, a whole bunch of kids knew me and gave me hugs, and it's really cool to see these students actually make this project for veterans, to make the connection to veterans. So I think that's the coolest part, is what the students did.
The pens took months of work and planning, all finished just in time for this special Veterans Day ceremony. The JROTC and students in the fabrication course presented the gifts to 9 veterans. Katie Hahn served in the Air Force.
So I think it just means the world to those of us that are here to be recognized, especially by our young generation.
Veterans say gestures like the pens go a long way in thanking them for their service.
I retired in 2016, so it's been a while, but it's always good to have people say thank you for your service and, buy you a meal. It's always good, because obviously the 1% that serve, they don't get honored enough for what they did and the sacrifices that they did. And I think it's really a neat job of what these students did for us.
The veterans I spoke with say handcrafted gifts like the pens and soldiers are more valuable than any monetary gift they can receive. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Rico. Ahead on Veterans Voices.
I get more out of it than I give, I'll tell you that, but it's a blessing.
Giving back to local veterans. Meet the man who spent decades making sure vets here at home are remembered and recognized.
And later, Battle Buddies, a local veteran working to save her friends through art.
The second largest Vietnam Veterans Memorial in the country sits outside of Rockford's Midway Village Museum.
It was one man's dream that took 20 years to become a reality. Eyewitness News reporter Ian Wiles sat down with Sergeant Nick Pernello.
When former President Kennedy said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country," Sergeant Nick Pernello claims he was listening.
I served like they served. The only difference is I got to come home, and I thought, boy, it'd be good if we could do something here to remember and reflect.
Sergeant Pernello served in the U.S. Army from 1967 to 1970 during the conflict with Vietnam. He knows how isolating war can be, so he used his experience to seek out other veterans and provide support.
Another veteran, Joe Falzone, and I, when we met in Vietnam, we promised we'd meet again, and we did for 30-some years. And then we started realizing there's a need for some kind of organization.
In 1984, the sergeant founded the LZ Peace Memorial in Rockford, and it was dedicated on Memorial Day of 2005, nearly 20 years later.
I get more out of it than I give, I'll tell you that. The truth is, I may be the artist, but they're all the colors. Without that, you ain't got a painting.
Sergeant Pernello's friends describe him as outgoing, driven, and dedicated to our country.
He really cares about the veterans. He's worked harder than anybody for veterans causes in the area. He's always willing to talk to a veteran that's maybe having some problems.
Now, thanks to Nick's efforts and donations, veterans have a new place to meet up during the colder months at the LZ Tricky on Harlem Street.
It's a camaraderie that only they understand, and they get that support. And I know several men that said without this group, they would have been lost.
Now we can do it face to face, which is the way we should be doing it, and this gives us that opportunity.
Sergeant Pernello, like other veterans, is battling cancer related to Agent Orange, a chemical used by the U.S. during the Vietnam War. But Nick believes nothing will stop him from educating others on the importance of serving our country and honoring those who fought for our freedom.
I am a proud veteran, and every veteran I know is a proud veteran. They served the country and died for the country, so we just need to remember that.
Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Rianne Weil.
Unfortunately, shortly after Rianne talked to Dave Pohl, he passed away.
He graduated from Harlem High School in 1968 and served as a Master Chief Petty Officer in the U.S. Navy from 1969 until 1993. Pohl was 75 years old.
A veteran hero's remains were finally laid to rest 80 years after he was last seen. The funeral for Flight Officer Cheryl P. Best was held in Durant over the weekend. He died in 1945 on a mission over Germany. His plane was hit mid-flight, but he managed to level off the plane and attack the enemy before his plane crashed. His heroic actions saved hundreds. A group located that crash site, and a gold wedding band was found with the initials MN to PB 1944 that belonged to Best. Flight Officer Best was laid to rest in the Rand Township Cemetery. A military veteran is attempting to seal his place in the Guinness World Record for a good cause.
Next, how his accomplishment will ultimately help veterans here in the state line and around the country.
A dream accomplished. A Marine and Army veteran turned ultra runner ends up in the state line to beat a Guinness World Record.
His mission was clear: raise money for Oscar Mike, a nonprofit helping vets in Boone County. But the location, as Mike Jones tells our Elizabeth Ippolito, all came down to chance.
We started in Chicago, didn't work. Belvedere has been very warm and welcome to our journey in this whole mission. And coincidentally, Oscar Mike started 11/11, Veterans Day is 11/11, and the address here is 11/11. This was randomly spotted through my Google Earth search, and that's all been a full circle.
Mark Jones had one goal when rucking in Prairie Field Sports Park in Belvedere. He strapped his backpack full of 40-pound weights on Thursday, planning to beat the Guinness World Record of a 79.1-mile ruck in 24 hours. That world record smashed in just 20 hours and 30 minutes. Mike would go on to do 100 miles in one day.
This was entirely for Oscar Mike. I know that's what kept me in this fight. We talked about, Guinness World Record it's basically an event. If it's 5K you sign up for, just on a different level. And our purpose was to raise as much money for Oscar Mike as possible. From what I've been hearing, we absolutely crushed it. So and brought so much awareness to this area and beyond.
Oscar Mike is headquartered in Marengo and was founded by a state line veteran. It supports veterans who returned home with disabilities after serving our country. But it's already outgrown its space and plans to move just down the street to Poplar Grove to a new 100-acre campus in order to help even more.
Oscar Mike is traditionally a on-the-move scenario. Like you say, you're Oscar Mike, you're on the move. And keeping people on the move when they get out of the military, when they're confronted with hardships in life, it's really just to make a statement to everybody listening that you don't have to stop. You can keep moving. They represent what Oscar Mike truly means, to what it means to be on the move, even though you're missing some legs, you're missing some arms, and still have a smile on your face and still live life to the fullest.
As for Mark, this is the first event he's done since having a family. And while he says that was the hardest part, being away from them for training, he says it was worth it.
Realized that, I could be in pain, I could be hurting, but it could always be worse. And that's what we're fighting for here.
Reporting in Belvedere for your home team, I'm Elizabeth Ippolito.
There's an effort in Rockford and throughout the state line to get more veterans to express themselves through art.
George Rodas spoke to a veteran who says art is a way to help cope with all that it means to be a veteran.
Teresa Chris Amos's art reflects her military history, the time spent in the services as a member of the Army Military Police and the time after serving.
So this piece of work is very personal to me. I literally have lost a battle buddy to suicide, and then I was able to save another one. So I titled this piece of art called If I Could Just Save One. And this ledge here kind of represents the hand, and then this represents me saving my one veteran friend but losing another, and then the other 22 a day. That is probably more than 22 a day now, but we lose more veterans because of mental health, and I just wish that they could realize there's more to life. Just please stay.
She says her battle buddy's struggles have greatly impacted her life.
This is my battle buddy Lori. This is the one I was able to talk down from harming herself. I was on the phone with her for 7 hours. And then Susan is the one that we lost to mental health. She did 2 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, and she just couldn't handle the demons that she was dealing with.
She says her art represents something she hopes to give to other veterans struggling alone, hope.
Using art as a way for me to express and put out the emotions, because we're not always ready to talk to somebody about what's going on. So with me, my artwork, if I dive into it, I'm able to express that and get whether it's my anxiety or my anger or my frustration or whatever it is, out and get it on and do something like this.
She hopes other veterans turn to art as a way to cope.
You don't have to be a professional, an artist, to get your emotions and use this as therapy. I just recommend just sitting down with anything, whether it be crayons, anything, woodworking. Just sit down and use it as a way to deal with your emotions. And just know that you're not alone.
In Rockford, for your home team, I'm George Rodas.
Coming up on Veterans Voices.
Familyhood that we have here is for everyone. But today is the day that we honor our veterans.
A Rockford retirement home brings all its residents together to discuss what it means to be a veteran. Organizations and groups across the state line gathered today to honor our nation's heroes.
That included a special ceremony at Byron Middle School.
On Veterans Day, we stand to every hero till the end.
Veterans and their families were encouraged to attend. The students showed their gratitude for those who served through speeches, band and choir performances, and other presentations. We asked the students what they would like to say to our local veterans.
Thank you for everything you've done. You've made a worldwide impact, even if it's like unknown. Like you've made this country better, and you've made everyone else better, and everyone around.
Your sacrifices and bravery got us where we are today.
And so grateful because we wouldn't be here today without you guys.
The dedication you have for our country will not go unnoticed.
The Byron Middle School Student Council also helped out today. They arranged a breakfast for veterans ahead of today's ceremony. Local veterans were also recognized for their service today at Peterson Meadows Senior Living Community.
The special presentation was filled with vets and their loved ones as they reflected on their time in the military. The evening featured speeches, musical performances, and a free lunch. Speakers recognized veterans who've also died, their families carrying on their legacy, and those who are now spending their time living at the facility. Peterson Meadows staff say their goal is to ensure that all veterans know their worth.
The biggest thing that we're trying to do is honor all of our residents. But when it comes to our veterans, sometimes when you're in a facility, you get forgotten. We don't never want them to feel like they have been forgotten. No matter who they are, no matter what their role was in the military or how much they served or not, they are still a veteran of this country. They still put in their time and their commitment. And we need to make sure they know that every single day, how much we appreciate them and that their service matters.
Pulliam also noted today was all about celebrating the brotherhood and sisterhood and fellowship among Peterson Meadows veterans. Coming up next on Veterans Voices.
Owners of a coffee shop right here in Illinois on a mission to help homeless veterans.
It's in the heart of the Loop, where we find a coffee cafe on a mission.
We are at Veteran Roasters Cafe at 161 North Clark Street in downtown Chicago. Put that in a box for you.
Mark Doyle started this brand in 2017. The space, though, is the organization's first brick-and-mortar location, with another spot opened now in Terminal 3 at O'Hare.
The mission of this cafe is to hire and train homeless and at-risk veterans, just like Veteran Roasters and just like our parent company, Rags of Honor.
We first told you about Rags of Honor years ago. Mark started that after a civilian deployment to Afghanistan.
But when I returned to Chicago, and I have to go back about 10 years or so, there were 2,000 homeless veterans just here in Chicago, and there were over 300,000 homeless nationwide.
Thank you for supporting veterans.
The clothing and the coffee are now being sold at the cafe, the proceeds of which go to furthering the big mission, lifting up those thousands of veterans.
So what we like to do, if you're in trouble anywhere in the country, we'll help you out. If you need a job here, we'll try and get you hired and trained up.
So far, they've seen about 120 veterans come through. Many were once without a home, and some,
It feels like home.
like Dion West, have moved up the ranks.
I got to grow as a man, as a person, and professionally. In the last 10 years, I started from the bottom to literally running the organization's day-to-day operations as a whole. So it's a position I never thought I'd be in. So we're rolling out a couple of new designs.
For a decade now, he has used his training from the Navy right here to help himself and other veterans.
Every single cup of coffee that is purchased helps veterans. It's a perfect mission. It's a good mission. It's something positive in a world full of negativity.
From the fresh coffee, the food, brown sugar bakery cakes, and the cookies, which are homemade right in their kitchen. A special touch baked into the service from those who have served.
People love the mission. People love our coffee. It's locally roasted. They love Rose. They love Dion. They love Lewis. And so I'm thankful to everybody here and thankful to the general public who continues to find ways to give back to us. Our whole mission is to continue to grow the footprint and to find a way to give those who wore the uniform just a shot at the life they deserve.
Veteran Roasters! Sean Lewis, WGN News.
And that's our show. Thanks for spending time with us.
And to our veterans, we thank you for your service. Have a good night.